Tell me,
seated.
if we gave cult-like figures in the sport ELO ratings, who would be higher, John Danaher or Lloyd Irvin?
Lloyd Irvin.
He's a higher cult status?
Let me tell you a little bit about this guy. Danaher has definitely got that sort of like hyper-focused, like he's like a hardcore jiu-jitsu nerd, like to the extreme. But Lloyd, he was like that with a lot of different things. He was like good at a lot of different shit. And especially like that, like NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's basically what you're saying about repetition. It's like the human mind is this sort of malleable subconscious entity that you don't really, well, most people don't have control too much about what they say. They just kind of speak and it comes from some sort of deeper self. But apparently that deeper self will just listen, and your conscious mind won't necessarily realize that someone's been saying the same thing over and over again for days and days and weeks, but it like gets tattooed into your deep processes. He would use that on his athletes, and I don't think anyone knew that's what he was doing. But he had all sorts of crazy psychological tricks like that where he would like but he would use it for good in some cases and evil in others. So he would use it to like motivate the team and like build a team camaraderie where it's like us against the world, like Team America versus Brazil. And then we'd go and kick ass. But then he would also have like, industrialized sex cults and stuff going on. So
that's interesting.
But also he'd be like a successful businessman in real estate. And like one time he took over some MLM, multi-level marketing groups. He like figured out how to hack those and like exploit them and win the prize cars. So he told me one time, he was like, there's this MLM where they have a Mercedes and all you have to do is sign up like 6,000 people. I was like, can you really do that? Like, that's a lot of people. And he's like, yeah, it's no big deal. And he rented out an office below the gym and he dedicated it to become like almost like a church sermon for the locals.
Just to get a Mercedes.
To get him into this MLM. So he would like do direct mail marketing to the locals and then get them in and then sign them up to this MLM. And then he won the fucking car. I couldn't believe it.
That sounds like a lot of work to get a Mercedes.
Dude, I've seen this guy, like, did you ever see any of the events he threw for like
the
gym owner events?
Oh, actually, I did see a little. I thought you were talking about the Kumite.
It was called MMA Millionaires.
Yes, a lot of people got involved in that.
Lovato, Eddie Bravo, the who's who of jiu-jitsu were there. They all respected him a lot and went to these events. And this is like during my green behind the ears phase of jiu-jitsu. Like I hadn't really won anything yet. I was literally just a bum from Hawaii. I had like $300 and I moved to Maryland. I was living next to Master Donnie's dog on the floor. And we had to go work these events, and we'd work for like 4 days. We'd be up, maybe sleep for like 2 to 3 hours a night, and then we'd be up setting up this event. And he would bring in all of the jiu-jitsu community, all of the who's who's of jiu-jitsu, basically anyone who owned a gym, have them all pay $1,000, $2,000 to get into the event. But then the whole event, he would actually be selling them again. So he'd go do these stage pitches and be hyping them up. And it was so masterful. He would literally on cue get everyone to pull their credit cards out in the crowd. Like you haven't seen like true sales skills until you've seen a guy make an entire crowd pull all their credit cards out, and then it's called a table rush. Like it's an industry technique in stage sales, and you basically have this sort of, I don't know, it's like a formula. I never learned it. I don't think I paid close enough attention to understand what the stage pitch was. But he would convince all these gym owners that they had to have this product that's like stored on a DVD at the back table. And they would run there with their fucking credit cards and buy it for like thousands of dollars.
I got to do that at seminars. Hey, maybe like selling my underwear or something.
The situation over there was bad. There were some things that happened that were bad. Those two guys, they got off not guilty though, which not a lot of people know. But some of those things were bad. But being exposed to like a guy who actually understood business on that level was probably the best thing that could have happened to me from like a career standpoint, like learning how to sell something. A lot of the other guys there, they didn't pay attention to that and they didn't want to learn it. But I actually like took the time to kind of like learn, what is he actually doing? Like who are the people that he studies and like reads about, or like turns out I think he was in a mastermind with a guy named Dan Kennedy, who's like the guy.
Oh, so he had like he
had a mentor.
A mentor.
Yeah, there's something going on. I don't know if you know about it, but like there's something called masterminds where people basically they just like get together and like share information with each other in common industries and then charge each other for it. So it's an MLM, but like in every industry.
So it's like Bohemian Grove.
Yes, it's very similar. I think.
Is it ethical?
I think so. Not Bohemian. I don't know about Bohemian Grove, but a mastermind. The idea of a mastermind, I think, is a powerful thing. Because, like, imagine this. Imagine how much control and power the collective jiu-jitsu athletes could have if we all actually just like got together and talked, like in a Discord call or something every once in a while. Like every 3 months, we all just got in a call and there was like an agenda, and we were like, all right, so these are the events we can compete at. These are the seminar rates that we're like dealing with. These are the salaries we're getting.
The real problem with this is we could get the 50 smartest people in jiu-jitsu and their IQ total would be 300.
That's true. That's why you have to lead them.
I have to lead them.
The mastermind cult leader.
Is that where Lloyd got his Master Lloyd thing from?
I don't know where that came from. I think that came from like trying to kind of separate and be like an American jiu-jitsu type thing also, but like have a different sort of sensei relationship. But I think that probably had more to do with like the subconscious effect of calling someone master over and over again. It's hard to say. There are many, many things about that place that I can never say on a podcast.
Really?
Yes.
I stayed at Ryan Hall's house and I really tried to get the behind the scenes story on Ryan. I found it interesting. I stayed in his spare bedroom and he had his belts on the wall. Mm-hmm. Like it would be like, I think it was like Alliance and a belt, but the TLI had a line through. I was like,
I know he especially had a rough time leaving. I met him a few times while I was there and he kind of tried to tell me that it sucked and like to leave. But I didn't at the time. But one of the craziest things, I don't know if I've ever told the story on a podcast, but the night that we were all, well, it wasn't the night, but there was a night where the guy, Nick and Mateo were the two guys that got charged with allegedly raping a girl on New Year's Eve. I don't really go out. I wasn't out. I was at the house. But at 4 a.m, I wake up to like a banging on the door.
Oh, the double SWAT raid, right?
Did I tell you about
this? You told me this. Okay. This is crazy.
I need to retell the story. Should I?
Yeah, you should. So you got SWAT raid, and one was the sheriff's, and one was
the U.S. Marshal. So because it's in D.C., they have a different jurisdiction where they don't have a SWAT team. Apparently, it's like straight U.S. Marshals, like federal police, and so the very first, I have no idea what has happened yet. Like, I don't know that there's been any sort of incident. I don't know anything. I'm just like at this fighter house. I'm living off soup and noodles at this time. And I hear a bang and I open the door. There's 15 U.S. Marshals with M16s, laser sights, hat, like helmets, goggles, lined up like in breach formation, ready to bust in. So I kind of just like open the door and they come in and they immediately arrest everyone, like hands behind your head, like guns in your face. They clear the house. They do like anything you can imagine, like clearing rooms, shouting the different like call signs or whatever they say to each other, like room clear. They clear the whole place. And then like 6 detectives, like quintessential detectives in these long pea coats, like DC detectives who thought they were super badass, come in and start like trying to call us out by name. And like, they were like, they thought Mike Perez was JT, and they were like talking to JT saying that they knew about some crime that Mike Perez had committed in like another state in Texas. And Mike was like, oh, that was me.
DJ, was he there?
So DJ wasn't allowed to live in this house that we lived in. So he actually had to live in the gutter. So that was the name of the other house. There's the gutter, and then there was 6502. Maybe they were the same thing. I don't actually remember. But he wasn't allowed at the house for various reasons.
He's a troublemaker, but he had a statutory rape charge that skipped bail on or something.
Yeah, there was all sorts of stuff bubbling up around that time. I don't really know the details of it. I just got out of there pretty quick. I was one of the first people to leave.
I mean, you had 2 raids of the house. I bet you were like, hey, 1 I can live with, 2 it's time to go, you know?
Yeah, there was a little too much for one day. I think I could have handled 1 raid, but the second raid where they came with more people in SWAT gear, like the SWAT guys are way more intimidating than the U.S. Marshals because they have SMGs, like the short little like bullpup style guns with like full headgear and like full like suits of armor.
I wish the first raid they'd actually kicked in the door. So when the second crew came, they were like, oh, it's already been kicked in.
Well, that was so strange about it. It's like, do I tell these guys we already got raided today? Like, I just kind of stayed quiet. I was like, wait, like, you guys were already here.
That would be a good tactic if you hadn't already been raided and you were like, hey, man, you guys raided us 3 hours ago. And they're like, oh, well, that's embarrassing. We'll just leave. Hey.
No, I opened the door all cheerfully because I thought it was one of the other coaches like playing a joke on us, like because they banged saying it was the police. I was like, oh yeah, it's someone making fun. Because we had like called everyone, like what happened? We were trying to put the pieces back together, and they came in, did the exact same thing. They even held my fingers in the same way. They all trained the same way. Like they put your fingers like this, and then they squeeze them, like they grab them like that. And it's actually a really good lock if you could get someone's hands together like this. It's like a Chinese finger lock, kind of. So there was some technical grappling there that I learned. And it was the same deal. It was like different detectives though, but they had like all detectives do the same thing. Like they look up your past and then like try and grill you about it. Like they know everything about you. But they constantly mess it up. Like they don't know what they're doing or something because they constantly like attribute that to a different guy in the room. But they basically questioned all of us.
This is point 2. We're calling an octopus guard. Across the board, I don't want you to think of it as a guard. It's not a guard, it's not a closed guard, it's not a half guard. It is a position that we are moving at all times. We're hitting tipping points, tilting points, we're making them chase us and onto us, shoot for submissions and pins that aren't really there. So again, although we're calling it Octopus Guard 2.0, try not to think of it as a guard, think of it as an ongoing scramble. That is a problem that is hard for them to solve. And we're going to have sort of answers for all the options and all the risks we take along the way.